Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm on guard duty, so I was hoping other people could jump on and carry the call a little bit. Um, yeah, thanks, anonymous learner, Luna. Dave could have just as well made the thing, although he doesn't really make the notification. But yeah, he did a couple times. So what's going on this week? I saw a really interesting talk about jellyfish, a specific kind of box jellyfish that has 4 eyes, one on each side of its, like 4 eye modules. So in each eye module, there's like 4 eyes in each eye module. It's kind of interesting. And then just the way the circuitry talks to each other, it's like in a ring. Oh, you got a guest. Hey, Annie. At the stage.
Go on.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I'm hearing you through the phone, but I got my headset on. How's your week been?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still dealing with construction and
Oh, shit.
yeah.
I like your sad pie.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. It was a very creative validation. Yeah, that was the day that the traffic officer put the sticker on my windshield.
1 second, I got the trucks driving by.
Yeah.
And then what else you had going on? Oh, yeah, we had to reprimand Team 15.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I was really nervous about it. I sort of yeah. And you mentioned the thing about like, oh, maybe you could even make them apologize, and I was like, no, I can't do that.
Well, I'll apologize to Hank. Sorry, Hank, for their response. That Team 15, they got out of hand.
Yeah.
Good riddance to you.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
Oh well, I got salmon. I got pre-herb salmon from Aldi that I put on a broiler for 14 minutes instead of in the oven for 20 minutes. Instead of
Nice.
broiler for 14 instead of oven for 20. I mean, bake for 20. Yeah, so bake.
Nice.
So and it's nice and crispy and flaky. It cooked sooner. So
I almost had salmon, but I decided to have eggs instead.
yep.
So I don't know.
But yeah, I'm not a good cold joiner. The thing is, I don't really like to put my thinking process aside for someone else's when they don't make any sense. So.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't. Yeah, that's okay. It's your preference.
Yeah.
Whatever like opinion they would have come up with, I mean, it would just be information. It wouldn't hurt you either way.
Well, they have to understand that I already have enemies, so if that information leaks out, or it's just, I think about it. But my big problem is that the way they approach it, it's not a typology system, it's a biography cataloging system. It's two different things. But once I have a biography, why do I need a biography cataloging system unless it's just a reference biographies?
Oh, you mean the questions themselves? Like answering those questions would give a biography of you?
It's more like a biography than typology, in my opinion. Which is allegedly why they could type all those famous people, because they have biographies.
The reason why those questions are there is just to get you talking. It's not about the questions and what you answer. It's about like how you answer them.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'd rather work with some differences and that's get that point quicker, like binary cognitive what's it called?
Mechanics,
yes. Because it says it goes in a tree-like system. I can just eliminate options once I figure out what what dimension I'm working in, what variable I'm working with. So
Right.
shouldn't need a whole biography.
Yeah. Well, you should start a typing team and then make that the basis.
Yeah, I'll consider it.
Yeah, you'll consider it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You wanted to work with the morality chart a little bit. You wanted some archetypes to stick there.
Oh yeah, I have errors, but I need to get more. So
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was using pantheons to sort
yes.
like all of the members of the pantheon to sort of put archetypes there.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That because with pantheons, how do they work? They'll put enough things in there to balance them all out. So that's
Right. Yeah. With a small bias based on whatever culture is pantheon it is. But yes.
Yes, and if we just have a few of them, then we can probably have a generalized chart, at least the plant, at least the Earth.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because like whoever they put their hero archetype or their father archetype on is a interesting place too.
Yeah. So
And then their
we're
villain
kind of like
archetype as well.
yeah, we're kind of like the music keyboard, the music will work because just you can start with whatever note, but it goes in octaves, and some of them are some ranges are similar to the other ones. The note, so it'll probably repeat like that,
Sure.
which will make it like a modular. We're called gotta be a modular arithmetic at that point. We'll make things simple.
Mm-hmm. So how's your week been, Hank?
Pretty good. I just got bored and tired of. Some people are stuck in tiny little loops, and I'm tired of those people. So
Oh. Yeah.
I'm talking a little less than I usually do.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the type of people that get stuck in those loops for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What loops are you stuck in?
What's stuck on? Well, pretty much, it's like no place. There's no place for me to go to find my tribe. So I'm not gonna look anymore.
Oh, so you've accepted that you have no tribe.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm just a wandering oddball. I can go in the oddball places, but that doesn't make it tribe. I'm just with other oddballs.
Okay. Well, I see you as part of my tribe. Why not?
Sure.
Sure, we can be tribe. Don't you like Machine Lies? Isn't that tribe?
Kind of. Machine Lies. We have a thing going, but I mean, I scared off so many of the wannabe cult leaders that it's not frustrated at all. It keeps the show on track, but still, it's not a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. Who's your tribe, Annie?
I guess you guys and my family.
Your family?
My clients too. Yeah.
Right.
I have a lot of clients I've known for a long time. Like the guy that's coming later, I've been working with him for 17 years. And
Wow.
Russ is, going out of town November 2nd, but my dog is really old. And
Okay.
I just have this thought, like, what if my dog dies when Russ is out of town? Because like I can dig a hole, but he's big, and
Yeah.
I don't dig holes all the time. So it might take me more than a day to dig a
Yeah.
hole.
We should get him to dig a hole before he leaves.
No, that's yeah, preemptive. I don't know. Yeah. So, I asked my client, if my dog dies when Russ is out of town, will you come over and dig a hole? And he said, "Oh, absolutely." He loves helping people. He's
That's nice.
he's like a 4 guy, 2
Right.
or 4, and
Mhm.
he's old but has functional strength. Working his whole life. doing all kinds of labor, and he just loves to help people. He brings me like firewood all the time. You know, if a tree gets damaged in a storm, he cuts it up for me and brings it for me to burn. Yeah.
Nice.
So he's
So
my
you have a backup hole digger now.
yeah.
Do you have someone for killing
Russ's
though?
primary function.
I remember my first dog got cancer, and I was determined to dig the hole myself, but she was scheduled to be put down because she had bone cancer. So I dug it myself, but I gave myself a whole week, just doing a little bit at a time.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they had some. I was on guard duty, so I didn't get it. But they had someone come to give massages to soldiers here. Like, I don't know why they do that, but I guess everyone contributes how they can.
yeah,
And,
that's cool. Have you ever had a massage before?
I think so. A while ago, but not this
Yeah.
time. I missed this one.
Mhm.
My brother was doing reflexology and massage therapy, so
Oh
he
yeah.
did my feet. Yeah, his goal was to make it hurt as much as possible.
Yeah, reflexology does hurt sometimes. Yeah.
Especially when it's your older brother that's been tormenting you his whole life. So
Yeah.
it's good to hurt him back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one this morning because I needed it. So
Oh, nice.
You had a massage?
yeah, this morning.
Oh, cool. What kind of massage was it?
Full body.
Just like with hands, like Swedish deep tissue kind of thing.
Yep.
Mm.
And with a little bit of reflexology, did kind of make sure I extend my joints and stuff. So pretty
Yeah.
much Swedish.
Do you do that pretty regularly?
Maybe around once a month. Maybe.
Well, that's
probably,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably slightly less than that.
Yeah, it's a good schedule. Yeah, I've got a lot of my clients come once a month, but some of them are twice a month, and occasionally I've had once a week clients.
Nice.
I only do once a week when I'm very busy and I don't know how to relax back. So there's only like you come up in December, but I really usually don't. And so it's no more than 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'm finally working today and tomorrow. I've had 5 days off, so
Wow.
yeah, not
tough.
planned. It's just how it worked. Yeah, so when you ask me what I've been doing lately, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I cannot really think of anything meaningful.
That's good too.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've had I guess I exercised some. I'm kind of uninspired in terms of sewing projects, but I did work on something and I kept making really dumb mistakes. And like my brain's not working. So I gave up.
Distracted on something?
No, I think I'm just stupid. Like not. Yeah, maybe it's partially from the month being difficult and the not working. You know how, like, if you ever get depressed, it reduces your intelligence a little bit.
Yeah.
And then maybe just not being healthy or is making me stupid. I don't know.
I mean, it would be an interesting intelligence test to try to sew things.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I've seen some of the stuff you do. You're like better than other people. You have more patience. Yeah.
Yeah, I just made dumb mistakes like origami type things, like sewing the wrong things together. Just a mistake I wouldn't normally make.
Yeah, it happens. You just overlook the sensory bit.
Yeah, like the number of times I've sewed sleeves on inside out. Since I first started, it's just like the spatial relationships. The part of the IQ test where you have to say what would this paper look like when it's folded together, on the seam. That's really hard for me. Yeah.
Okay.
3-dimensional spatial thinking.
Yeah, I guess it's a very sensory way of testing people as well.
Mm-hmm.
The visual stuff.
I have been slowly cleaning up the house next door because Russ is going out of town and I want to really, really clean it. But in order to thoroughly clean it, there's so many little piles of crap that have to be organized. So I'm just kind of chipping away at it. So what does it mean when you're guarding? What are you guarding?
When I'm guarding, depends on where I'm guarding, but basically just have to keep my eyes and ears open. And there's one place where there's a gate where we open and check to make sure who goes through is authorized to go through, that kind of thing. Yeah. One kind of duty that we have, just guard duty all the time. Doesn't matter where you are, whatever camp you have a base, you have to guard your base. You have to put in your hours. Other people want to relax and sleep, so they need to know that, someone's keeping an eye out.
Yeah. Well, I had kind of an observer freak out last night. I guess I thought Russ got raptured because yeah.
Okay. All right. That's funny.
I fell asleep on the couch because it's the only, like, after the TV was over, sometimes I lay on the couch because it's the only way I can sleep on my side. I'm just like not comfortable doing that. And also the dogs are there. It's nice to sleep with them for a little while, like the first sleep cycle. And I fell asleep, but Russ came in, fed the dogs, and went to bed. Normally that would wake me up and I would go to bed too. But I didn't wake up through all this noise. And then he was up in the bed looking at his computer, or his iPad. And I went outside. I woke up and I went outside to check the gate, make sure it's locked, and get ready for bed. And I was expecting him to be out there, like he's always out sitting outside, and he wasn't there. And I just totally missed that he had gone to bed. I don't know how he made all that noise and got in bed without waking me up. And so I thought he was raptured.
Yeah, that's the simplest explanation. He either got raptured or
I
don't know what else. What other possibility could there be? Just raptured.
Yeah.
Went to get some milk?
No, that would be so out of the pattern.
Oh, okay.
We're going somewhere today. So I've kind of a busy day. I'm doing this and then 2 massages. And then right after that, there was a school that they built. They've been building it the last 3 years, like a block away. And the architecture firm that built the school is having some kind of Lego event and an open house. So it means that we get to actually walk through the building, So kind of boring, but just to see the new construction, like, what is this school? Because there was an old school there. They tore it down and I'd never been in there. I have no reason to go inside of a school because I don't have kids. I probably wouldn't even be allowed to because I don't know any kids there.
What's a Lego event?
I don't know. Like, it's an architecture firm. So, and they're showcasing a school they built. And so maybe there's some fancy, like maybe it's a competition, like kids built Legos or something. Yeah, I'm not really in it for the Legos. Just want to see the inside of the school, but it could be neat. Maybe there's like, fancy, complicated Lego constructions.
It's funny, your obsession with seeing the inside of the school. It's like, I get to see the inside of the school and I'm allowed to because I don't have a kid, but now I can.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just walk into a school if you don't know any children there.
Well, you're paying taxes there,
that's good advice.
You're paying taxes, though, so you probably talk to the principal superintendent if you wanted to.
Well, if you don't have a kid there, you've got no reason to walk in the school. They'll think you're like a predator or something.
Maybe.
This is where my tax money is going to, so I want to interview some of the employees.
Yeah, your tax money goes to the mayor, too, so you can just walk into his office. Why not?
Yeah, actually I can.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think about that much at all. Like if I go to a playground or something, sometimes I would go to a playground to exercise,
You have dogs too.
Yeah, maybe I would take the dogs, yeah. But just to do, calisthenics and stuff on the monkey bars. And I don't worry about it at all, but Russ, when he goes to a park with his dog, he feels very self-conscious because, he's a man at a children's park without a child.
Right. Yeah,
No.
makes sense.
A lot of times our parks are just empty, so it doesn't make a difference.
Our
Depending on
parks
the time of day.
not empty ever. We're very the town is very athletic, very spending lots of time outdoors. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. You got a busy day, so you're gonna cut early, I guess, from the live stream.
Well, the first appointment isn't until 2:30, so 12:30.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I probably I don't have a lot of stamina to sit here. You know, I don't like to sit, so I'll probably get up at some point and
Right.
put my AirPods in. I need to hem up my sister's pants. I was supposed to do it yesterday so I could give them to my mom today. She's coming, but I was making all those mistakes, so then I was afraid to hem up my sister's pants because I might ruin them.
Huh.
So I could try to do that. I mean, I don't have it. There's not a deadline. I don't have to have them done today, but that's something I might do. So yeah. So
Yeah,
no, go ahead. Oh, I was just thinking, like, so you were saying me and my sister are similar. I do think we're the same quadra.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't had a chance to look too much into it, but
Yeah.
yes, that's a good guess, I think. She
Yeah.
seems more DE than you, that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister and I are the same quadra. So she's
More play,
ISF.
maybe.
Yeah, she's ISFP according to 16P, which some people say it's unreliable. I was INTJ according to 16P, but with this other test I did, I came out ENTJ. I think I bounced back and forth between. I'm on the border. I'm probably ENTJ, but there's no good ENTJ role models to just. And this
No,
is
you're an observer, Hank. You're an observer.
Oh, that'll make me an INTJ then, probably. So.
Yeah.
That because NI is observer function. But yeah, still that being the same quadra.
And you do take things very literally. You like your definitions.
Yeah.
I take things literally by default.
Yep.
I don't have
right.
to, but I take them literally by default because it's less stuff to process.
Mm.
Otherwise, I may end up like a conspirator. Oh, what does this really mean? It's too much brain power. I wait for the magic number.
I was looking from like guard duty the other day at the road we're guarding here, and it looks just like the album cover I did. It was really weird to to see that. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's the exact album cover I did for my album 2 years ago, and I'm guarding this road now. It's interesting. Anyways,
Yay.
thought it was weird.
You're into music now.
What's that?
You're into music now.
I'm into music now? A little bit less now. And I don't have a keyboard on my desk, a tiny keyboard.
Yeah, you don't have this thing. So.
Yeah,
I've actually been using a little bit. I try to play it 3 minutes a day at least.
Yeah, what do you think about this, Hank? Is taking things literally something with autism, or is it more with type?
Well, autism is just a type, so I'm just going to say type.
Okay, all right.
It's a DSM type.
Sure, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, there's so many things I could have been doing with all this time off. And when I was a few years ago, I would have been just diving into my projects. I could have even played a lot of guitar. And I really didn't, but I did pick up the guitar a couple days ago, and something cool happened. I could suddenly sing. So when I had COVID, that damaged my vocal cords so bad that every time I pick up my guitar, it's just disappointing because I can't sing. And then I picked it up 2 days ago, and all of a sudden, it was like something was very different. I could finally sing again.
You recovered from the COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Nice. You can taste things too then.
Yeah, I only couldn't smell things for like 2 days. I could always taste.
Yeah, so I saw this interesting video about this jellyfish. It was really cool. It's a box jellyfish. And it's got 4 eyes around its body, and every eye has 4 eyes. It's comprised of 4 eyes. So it's like very, very simple processing on each one of those. I guess it has 24 eyes overall, not just the 16. I don't know, it's doubling up somehow. But yeah, it's got individual processing on all of those eyes, and they don't really see the way we see. They see in a lower resolution and a lower contrast and a lower frequency and black and white. But like each eye has like a purpose, and you can really see there's only like 1,000 neurons in the whole jellyfish, so you can see how it's all connected. So its representations of the world is very different than ours, and its behavior is really different. But what was interesting is like its neurons are in like this ring pattern, and so each eye has like an opposite eye. And so it'd be interesting to see is like if both eyes get the same signal, which one would be dominant? Like, is there a dominance between opposites? Yeah, because like our functions are in the brain, and the brain can connect between opposites. But here, because it's a jellyfish, it can't really connect between opposites. It goes in like a ring.
Yeah.
Got a hole in the middle. So the guy there was saying that there isn't really a dominance thing, but I don't know if that's true. He didn't really do many experiments. That would be interesting to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, it's a good metaphor for like how the functions work, I think, where each eye operates on its own and then it has to talk to the other eyes.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. What's this here? So you're either a schizophrenic or you have autism, according to Kyle.
Yeah, and probably DSM, but they don't want to tell everyone because that would make them lose credibility. So they'll keep it hush hush.
Okay. He says he's not speaking for you. He doesn't think you have a. Yeah. What's Danny's theory on amphibian animals? No, I don't. Maybe we saw it. If it's old enough, maybe I saw it. I didn't see anything new this week. What's up, Jared? How's it going? How's life?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, life is life. Speaking, like you were talking about sewing, my mom, she likes to sew, and I had her sew my daughter's. She had to hem my daughter's concert gown thing. So it's way more involved than I would think. I thought it would be like, oh, you just put it in the machine and go around, but
yeah,
she cuts it and then she does the match the thread and
hemming it would be really simple, but it's actually difficult. And me and my sister, she's a bit taller than me, but we're so short, so I'm having to cut like 6 inches off these pants. I told her, just buy petite clothing, quit making me hem up all your pants. I mean, that's what I do. I just find the companies that have the size that works for me, and I stick with those companies.
How tall are you, Annie?
Well, I used to be, when I was younger, I was 5 3/4 of an inch, but I feel like I'm probably shorter just because of gravity and posture stuff. So probably about 5.
I'm 5'7".
Wow. That means you get to eat more snacks than me. That is not fair.
You're the same height I am. So.
Never thought about that before, but sure.
Well, you would if you were 5 feet tall. It's really not fair.
I mean, I'm just thrilled that I can reach, some high spots relatively often. I do feel for, shorter folks who can't reach like the shelves on top in the kitchen or something like that. That must be a pain.
Yeah, Russ and I were together for about 10 years before he finally lowered one of the shelves in the kitchen so that I could reach it, you know?
Yeah.
I really appreciated that.
There you go. See, you gotta make your home your home.
Yeah.
Get that SIFI working for you.
Mhm.
Like back in the
You have a
day,
stepping stool?
the ATMs and all the gas stations, it was like normal size, but I've noticed in recent years they've like lowered things down so people shorter can now get it. But now it's like hard for the tall people. Like we have to bend down to the drinking fountain just to.
What's more difficult for whom? You bending down or somebody else not being able to access it at all?
Oh, I don't know. My lower back says I don't like to bend down. So
Okay.
What drives me crazy is in waiting rooms, like medical offices, the dentist, stuff like that, the chairs are too big.
yeah,
And so I sit in it and my legs stick straight out because my
Yeah.
femurs are like that
Yeah.
short. And yeah, there's not, they could have a variety or like some kind of middle ground. And I was ranting and raving about why don't they have short desks and short desk chairs for short people? And Russ said, because the market is too small.
Well,
a tiny market.
there's this great book called Invisible Women: Data Bias in the World Designed for Men.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting how, for a long time anyway, and this is only just recently changing, standards all around us were based on the average male, right? Including probably the dentist's chair.
Yeah.
So, not surprising.
Yeah, I saw this one thing that's this factory had a production problem. They hired women, and the women, it was like a car manufacturing or something with windshields, and the women were always breaking the windshields when they were installing them. So they couldn't figure out why, but it eventually turned out when they investigated that the machine that lifted it or whatever was built for higher height, and so when they adjusted that machine, then they didn't have any problems.
There it is. Stuff like that. Little things. You don't
So-
even notice them.
I saw something yesterday on Facebook. It was some, it's like Halloween here, and it was somebody working in an office, and they had the little bags of peanut M&Ms, the little fun size, and she opened it, and all the M&Ms were blue, every single one of them, and she was super excited, like, oh, it's a miracle. But like to me, I was like, I would not eat those M&Ms because I think that I don't think that would naturally occur. It would be like so statistically unlikely for that to naturally occur. So it means that some human intervention occurred. Somebody put only blue M&Ms. And if somebody is interfering with the food already, you don't know what else they did to the M&Ms. You know what I mean? Would you guys eat, if you opened up a bag of M&Ms and they were all the same color, would you eat them?
I don't think I'd think twice. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it'd be all right because like just one machine got clogged up or something. That's all it could.
Double observing, man.
Gosh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
If they didn't get my M&M order right, I wouldn't eat them. But that's probably right order.
Or you could put a new label on there like M&Ms for rock stars, because they always have that story about having to have
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
That's
Isn't
funny.
blue a hard color to make for food?
Not anymore.
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
No, man, they found the Smurf supply, so they just grind those guys up and.
Haul,
okay.
haul.
I guess it's cochineal extract that they use.
So can I share what Danny mentioned yesterday on the Facebook group? I thought it was super interesting. I actually dug into it quite a bit. I was like, whoa, that's a great observation. So it was a observation on animal stacks, and that I should type out an example, huh? So like CSPB, right? So in the middle, in the case of CSPB, you have two pairs, CS and PB. You have two energy animals in the middle, they do not, there's like a break in energy because there's no flow. Let's say for my stack, right, BS, CP, I go from BS to SC to CP. I have more of a natural trickle down of energy because I go through each kind of mode. I don't know how to better explain it. I'm terrible at explaining stuff, so I'm
Yeah, it's if it
writing
changes
it down.
directions.
There is
Like,
my mope mode in the middle allows me to flow easier than in the case of the other example. So the suggestion was made that somebody with 2 energy or 2 info animals in the middle has like a very sudden either or transition throughout their day of animals. Like they are either mope or crackhead, but they cannot transition easily into one or the other. So, for example, my blast and my play do not touch. I can never crackhead, so to speak, right? I'm either skipping, that's the closest I can get, but I could never crackhead mode because they never touch.
yeah.
Wouldn't it happen on an extreme swing though?
Not crackhead.
Oh yeah, it
In
would
fact,
be the other thing then.
In fact, I realized this last night. I phrased it out. I said, I cannot both share information and learn, right? That's what crackhead is. I cannot do both at the same time. I cannot both give you something and receive something in one conversation. I'm either teaching you as I am right now, and then I take what you give me and I hide away and regurgitate it for later.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
I mean, that sounds like low play too, in general.
yes, it does. Yes, yeah. But that was the conclusion made with Danny, who said like either I am one or the other, and I can't. So Annie, you wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah,
There's no
glass lip.
name. Yeah, well, because she would also go from mope to douchebag to crackhead. But she could never skip.
Yeah. So what is skibbing? What does that look like?
Consuming with others, like taking, simply playing out, questioning with others.
Yeah.
Instead of sharing with
I
others.
thought it was jumping into cars with serial killers. Oh, I got it wrong then.
It sounds very fixed mindset to me, the can't word.
All right, can't take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I think the distinction is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people have talked about this before, but they framed it different ways. Like that there's like a flow to the animals. And so if your animal changes directions all of a sudden, then yeah, you have that interruption.
So in the case of my stack, what happens is that sleep, the second animal, informs my blast and consume. I execute for self first, and then I execute, or sorry, I absorb information for self and then through for others, right? That's what sleep is, around the sleep. And then by the time I get to skibbing, I'm just basically like aligning whether my sleep world aligns with what other people think about that thing or whatever it is. So if I spend 80% of my world in my sleep, I just go 20% to check with other people if it aligns with my worldview or whether what other people think or whatever that is. And then I internalize it again. So it is kind of cyclical. Well, I haven't really internalized them. So here I am doing that a little bit late.
That's good.
You're like, okay, cool, that's good.
I like the internalized word. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
So
the
do you see
crazy
any similarity with Annie at all?
Hmm?
Go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
Yeah, Nick put up there. What's the crazy animal theories from 2019?
There's just been a bunch of theories since. I think he's just saying that like there's older theories and newer theories, and there's a lot floating around. Yeah. Do you guys relate to each other, your animal stacks a little bit, Annie and Anna?
Mm,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Flow
I
of
think so.
energy.
Yeah, the play
Yeah.
last for sure. Yeah.
Well, we're both play last, but it's very different, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I feel like I have a middle of the day slump. I do a lot of mope stuff midday. It's kind of what anchors the extroversion throughout the day. I'm definitely running around doing blast, but it's for the self. And I'm kind of just like cleaning and doing all these like SI tasks throughout the day.
Hmm.
And then there's like the consume mopey slump where I'm just like, doing the ops world and the politics and everything else that I can gather throughout the day. And then the play last is double masculine, so it just comes back up.
Hmm.
So it's I'd like to think that it does inform. I'm also lucky that my work can accommodate for my kind of energy flow or stack. So there is a lot of consuming throughout the day that I do that is not work related, and I like to channel change a lot and all of that. It's fun. It works.
Yeah, I think the reason I'm self-employed is just for, I guess, SF sleep, um, and the animal stack, just like my rhythms, like what I'm up for at specific times. I'm very, very sensitive to the routine and the schedule, and so being self-employed, I can get it exactly how I want it and
Yep.
stick to the routines. The hardest thing for me is an erratic schedule.
You have to plan ahead for, yeah.
Yeah, like if some days I work at 1 and then other days I had to work at 9 AM, I need some consistency. So that's what I have with self-employment. Aside, like the coaching, sometimes I do Zoom coaching at 9 AM and that's okay. But for massage, I don't ever start until 1. And so it's like every morning is a half day vacation.
Yep.
Where I'm just sticking to my routines.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
SI routine.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I used to have to work like the graveyard, and it would be like late and then early. That's really bad for me. I don't know. Like
it's bad for everybody. Yeah, it's just not healthy. Yeah.
Like I do better when I'm on a pattern. It's the same every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can be a little erratic, but I want to be able to plan ahead because otherwise it's too much. Like on call was very annoying, but I could pick up a split shift. It's not that big of a deal for me. But I'll get sluggish soon by the end of my work week, though.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what play last is. It's difficult with the sudden, easygoing kind of go with the flowness. That's what it is. It's the lack of go with the flowness.
Very much so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any kind of
You have a
switcheroo.
question there, Anna, about your theory that you're presenting.
Does this mean
According to this theory.
Right. Well, yes. That's according to this idea. Yes, that's the because we do not have those animals connect ever, that you don't exhibit traits of those animals in that way. Yeah, it's interesting. Which I've tested on a couple people. My mom's stack as well. So play, blast, sleep, consume. It's also much more smooth, right? Her blast is her second animal aiding forms, the play and the sleep. So she's like, what can I do to help others? What can I do to execute with others and then for self? And then by the time she gets around to like, okay, what do I do for me? What do I consume for me? I mean, I guess that's what animals, that's how the last animal works anyway. But I do feel like Danny's stack and ones where the info animals are in the middle, they're very intentional. It's like I'm using my CS to inform my play blast, right? Or like very like unidirectional and more choppy, like, okay, hard go energy all of a sudden.
I wonder if it's possible to see that when you're typing someone.
Good question. I think that's another cross check. Not something you can necessarily see, but if you suspect that kind of stack, you can
you could do
cross check it, see if it's like.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Don't they say that that you go through your animals like through the day, like
again another
like
theory?
Like how true is that? I don't know. It just seems like life is so it's like not prescribed, so it's like you really don't have control of some parts of your life where, like, I like to take a nap in the afternoon, but when I had a job that was in the middle of the afternoon, I couldn't. So I mean,
right, that's external.
Yeah, I noticed that I go through the order starting in the morning. I go through consume, sleep, blast, play in that order, but then after that, then it could be whatever. Yeah.
Agree, because by my stack, that means that I'm gonna have this extroversion by end of the day. Like double masculine play by. I don't have this like sudden jump in energy by evening. And I come out here intentionally to play with you guys, right? So I do like to practice. I do have like a fascination with play. It's kind of like, ooh, what are they going to tell me? What's the surprise of information that I can play back with that I might not expect? And that's so intriguing. Do you have that, Annie?
I don't know. I mean, my world is so small. I don't know what that's making me think of. Like when my partner comes home, I want him to tell me what he did. What was your day like? What was it like? And I'm hoping he'll say something interesting. But
sometimes not. Yeah.
Like he goes to see his old lady friend every day, and I say, well, what did Elaine do? Did Elaine say anything funny? Because she's a pretty funny old lady. So yeah, I like.
Yeah, NETE, right? Like What do they do? Yeah.
It seems to me it's like the same problem. Like when you have a function, it's like they're like just toggling back and forth so much. It's like the chicken and the egg problem. Like you don't know. There really is no one that's first. It's just
Egg comes first.
the egg.
Well-
Yes.
I thought it was a sperm, man. So I guess I'm
Well,
wrong.
they do. Yeah. So some people say it's like a whole day thing. That's the observation, or maybe the cycle is shorter, right? That you could like go through your animals in cycles throughout the day. Which, by the way, I like that because it's true. Like right now, I'm on my game. I'm playing with you guys. I have that energy. But the minute I shut down in like an hour, I can't do, my last animal for a long time. Or, it does get really draining. And then I just shut down back into sleep
But-
world.
Probably if you practiced and did it a lot, then your tolerance would build up over time. Maybe
I think it would always be exhausting.
yeah, but you could increase that muscle a little bit to
Yeah,
a certain extent, probably.
Sure.
So
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like playing. I'm more comfortable with this format. When I first
It's
started,
controlled. Yeah.
yeah, when I first started coming onto these lives too, it's just like the stamina. Like, man, how does somebody sit here and
Yeah.
do this, that long? So yeah, I'm more comfortable with that now. But where I can't seem to grow the play muscle is with the flexibility. I understand
Yes.
that, in life every day, unexpected things come up and I can go with the flow to a point because you have to. Like I'm an adult grown up person, so I can be flexible. But then I will hit a limit where I just I can't. I run
Yeah.
out of flexibility. That happened to me the other day. I got really mad at my mom. I hardly ever get mad at her because we just have like a very non-confrontational relationship. Like just
Yeah.
talk about intellectual things really, so there's nothing to be upset about. It's just not an emotional relationship.
Yeah.
But I have all this time off, and she was going to come over for me to help her with some sewing projects where she was stuck, and I have better equipment, better machines.
Mhm.
And she said, yeah, I'll come at 1. And it was like she at like 1:05 she said, I'm running a little bit late, but didn't
Uh-huh. Yes.
and then it was 1:38.
You're
And
like,
like I feel like in a way I have no right to not be flexible because I have all
Yeah.
this time off, but that's a problem too. It's
Yeah.
like because there is no structure because the month is so weird because of this construction. And then I got so mad and I just got in my car and left. And
Sorry,
I went to
Mom.
well, but it was a quick trip. I just went to the grocery store that's like a block away. I bought some stuff and came
Cooled
back.
off.
But I didn't really cool off enough. I was so mad. But I recovered enough that like we did her sewing projects.
Masculinify.
But I just kind of lost it, I reached a
Yeah.
limit. Getting like people being really late and no shows is triggering for me. And then I also have
Yes.
it's just built into my career being a
Same.
massage therapist. Like you
Yeah.
get so sick of that. It doesn't get easier every time
Yeah.
I'm struggling. It feels like PTSD kind of.
Big time. Same, except the inverse. I will blame it on other people.
Mhm.
You will internalize it and go to the grocery store. And I'm like, it's your fault. Blah, 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 EJ.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, she knew I was mad. But then I feel even if I didn't let her know that I was mad, I just felt mad internally. I would feel like I'm a terrible person because I got so upset about this thing that a lot of people would think is trivial. Like what is wrong with me? Why do I get so angry?
So if your mom like texts you, say, hey, I'll be there. I'm running late. I'll be there at like 1:20. Does
That will be better. Yeah,
does that
Well-
relieve the
it does.
Because
Yeah.
we're also infodom. Like, give it to us straight
Yeah.
with the information, then I can handle it.
Because I was thinking about recording a video that day, but I had washed my hair, so I didn't want to record the video when my hair was wet. And if I had known 1:38 was when she was going to show up, then I would have, or 1:40, whatever, I would have just said, "Oh, I have enough time to film this video," but I didn't know. It's like I don't
Yeah.
know how much time I have, and I don't want someone knocking on the door once I set up all the, set up the lights, set up the camera.
Right.
Right. So
it's like I've moved on with my other plans. Like I've sleep processed what other shit I have to do.
yeah,
Like I'm not gonna wait for you, okay?
yeah.
You get it. You get it.
But when I have kind of a meltdown and get really angry, upset about something, then I feel terrible. Like I'm a bad person. So,
That's pretty disheartening.
but it is. But then when other people have a meltdown or whatever, I just think I have so much compassion.
Yeah,
you know?
you have empathy for that. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're harder on ourselves. That's always true.
Yeah.
Well, that's not always true. What am I saying? I definitely am not hard on myself often enough. I feel like I have the opposite problem. Give myself a lot of leeway and not enough for others.
Mm. Yeah, it's one of the reasons my sister and I aren't close is because she plans a lot of things. She's always got an activity. Her children are planned within an inch of their life with like events and activities and everything. So she makes plans with me. Do you want to get together and have coffee? And I love this. My favorite kind of date is coffee and conversation. I love it. So she'll plan it, be all excited about it, and then she doesn't show up. She forgets.
Right.
I think it's like over planning and feminine sensory or something.
Yeah.
She makes plans. Like she'll organize a whole event and then not show up.
Oh my God. That is
Wow.
infuriating.
Wow.
She did this with like some like local moms. It organized this whole event that everybody met in a park and there was like cupcakes involved.
And she wasn't there.
And she didn't show up. She forgot about it. It's like she's getting the chemical hit from the planning process.
Oh my God.
But not from the showing up process.
Is she an EJ?
I don't know. I think we're the same quadra, but I'm not sure.
So did the event work, or they need her to even have the event?
Sometimes she's needed. She's really competent. But a lot of times she's not needed. She's organizing things that don't need to be organized. Just creating events just to fill.
Nobody asked you to do this. Yeah, some people like that. Sounds like EJ though.
It'll be like August or something, and she'll put me in a group text like, "Hey, what do you guys want to have for Christmas? Who's going to make what?" And I'm like,
"Yeah,
it's August." Like, and what date do you want to do it on? Because now that she has, she's married, she can't meet on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day because she has a whole other family in California. Right. So we don't have Christmas on Christmas anymore. We'll have it like on the 17th of December or something stupid like that. And she's trying to hammer out all these details. I'm like, so much can happen. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive in December, like
I don't know.
You might be burying your dog that day.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm burying my dog. I don't think I'll be up for festivities. Well, if it's Thanksgiving, I'll still definitely want to eat, but
priorities, man.
Especially after digging that hole, I'll be really hungry.
Totally.
No.
That's funny. Interesting. Yeah, my mom is definitely blast play, like, hey, what are you doing this day? Da 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 da. Let's go this weekend. Like, and I'm so grateful for that because that's my gap, right? So, it usually works out because we're both EJs. We're both like, gonna want to gather the people to do activities and all of that stuff. Bring along my daughter and my husband and whatever it is we're planning. So it works out. She's just filling that like, what should we do? Where should we go gap? And usually has the most plans. But I definitely sometimes I can see she swings the other way and she's like, resents that I have not filled that gap. She's like, okay, so what are we going to do then? Where are we going? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't done that part yet. Don't look at me.
Yeah, last time they put me in this group text I hate it because sometimes I need to have my ringer on for some reason or another. I'm waiting for a notification, and I get in this group thing, and it just keeps like buzzing my wrist, my watch. But
Ooh, yeah,
they said
Observer Plus blast.
they were trying just this conversation, too many words about what we're gonna have for family dinner, and I
How
said
about food?
I said everybody just bring your favorite breakfast cereal. Because I'm just kind of like, and they rejected that idea. But a lot of times I find myself, but I think that would be fun if everyone.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Their
Bring your favorite breakfast dinner. That's an interesting thing.
No, breakfast cereal.
Breakfast cereal, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
breakfast cereal. Oh, okay.
We'd have, and I don't really eat cereal, but you know, I did when I was little. I feel nostalgic about it. But I was just feeling silly. But a lot of times I'll just text unsubscribe to the group thing. Just text unsubscribe.
I wish I could, but I can't because I have to know what people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like silent is a good one. I did turn off, what do you call them? The little red dots, the notifications on apps. So I don't know how many notifications I have. But if and when I'm ready to use Facebook or any other apps, then I will see it when I get in there. But I'm not like driven by or, you know, getting dopamine for knowing like how many hits or whatever notifications I have. You can turn all that shit off.
Yeah, I don't have it on Facebook, but yeah, some apps I do where I need to know. I think that's interesting in CRG because I'm always home. That a lot of times I'll get a message like, "Hey, we need a new client," and then it's like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, "Okay, I sent it," and people are like, "Whoa,
yeah,
like how did you do that?"
Either
like,
you're completely off or you're really
here.
on. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm just If it's during the daytime, I'm probably gonna get back to them pretty quick.
Yeah. The psychology of those things are really interesting. Like there's even an option to disable color on your phone so that you're not seeing the red dots, you're not reacting to like the juicy pixels of everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't feel like this sort of stuff bothers me as much psychologically, and I think it's because of my age, because I had a whole childhood without it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some degree of like dopamine, you know, getting messages from people and getting comments and stuff, but it just doesn't feel like a big psychological problem the way younger people talk about it.
Yeah.
You also don't believe it's real sometimes, Annie.
What? Oh,
like
anything?
Yeah.
You mean like reality or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all not
like
real.
The blue M&Ms.
Yeah. All right.
What's up, Dave? Where are you? What's going on? He told us last week, but we don't care enough about you to remember what you're doing.
He's got all kinds of schoolwork and tests and things.
Yeah, he said something about that last week.
Yes. I'm going to drop off for a bit. See you later.
Later, Hank. Yeah, I came off guard duty now, so. But I think my I don't know what to call this. I guess it's a room. They want to clean the floor, so I'm going to help them clean the floor soon.
Did they schedule that with you? Can you adjust?
I don't know if I can adjust. Yeah, this was scheduled before, so priorities, right?
Yeah.
But the floor does need to be done.
So what is the what's the method? Like, do you have a
vacuum?
Like for the floor? Is it like a vacuum or?
We'll just flood it. We'll flood it and then.
Is there a drain in the floor?
No, we'll just sweep it out the door.
Oh, so you just hose it off and sweep the water out the door.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
And it's a concrete floor.
No, it's metallic.
Really?
Yeah, we're in like a metal box, like a safe. We sleep in a safe.
Yeah, that's good. This sounds
Yeah.
secure.
Yeah, it's secure against explosives and bullets.
Yeah.
And it locks from the inside or outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it has an air conditioner built in. It's pretty cool. So they just plump this down and then you can sleep in it. It's got bunk beds in it.
So is it better air conditioned in that box than it is at your home for sleeping?
Oh
Or do you
yeah,
have
for sure. Yeah, my house sucks at air conditioning, and it's very well sealed here. Like there's no air leaks.
How many people do you have to sleep with? Is there like bunk beds?
Yeah, there's bunk beds, so they have it set up for 7 people in this one, but
Mhm.
somehow I managed to only have 3 of us.
Mm,
I was, yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I got people to move around, and then now there's only 3 of us in this room, so it's good.
nice. Do they snore?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I told them before, like if I snore, you can just smash me in the face with your gun, and then I'll wake up. It's okay.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah.
I have family in Israel.
Oh really? Where?
Mm-hmm. Haifa.
Yeah, they're getting hit now pretty hard. Lots of rockets up there. Yep.
Yeah, pretty rough. So I have cousins who left Russia in the last 2 years, as you might imagine,
Right.
went to Israel, and then all this started in Israel.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so kind of can't get away from
Well, make sure they don't go to anywhere else because they might be the cause, you know?
that must be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty rough. But most everyone I talked to in Russia wants the mood is absolutely terrible. People are done with it. They're over it.
The war in
You
Russia.
know, yeah,
Finances pretty bad.
just everything, everything. There's no men to supply, like, there's no one to keep up the infrastructure. Things are always broken. Public facilities, just everything is, there's no men to to uphold the towns and the cities. Everything is getting more expensive. Everyone's
Yeah.
everyone's angry. Everyone's not that the mood in Russia was ever a great mood for like the last 100 years. But
It sounds like Putin wants to end it too now from some of the talk he's doing. Sounds like he's tired of it too.
are you joking? Where have
No, I
you
mean,
heard
I saw
that?
he was talking about like how, sometimes families fight and we're families with them and that kind of thing. He's like trying to double decide out of a war. I don't know.
I'd have thought he's some kind of IP, just given how not,
Right,
I don't know, he's so removed from the tribe. Just like, what is
right.
this shit? He's not an IJ by that
They
time.
typed him as a SIFI.
Yes, I know. Um, and yeah, maybe, but yeah, he's just so removed from the tribe. Maybe that's just some.
Yeah, a lot of those leaders, like I know the guy in China and Putin, they're very isolationist. Like they're
Sure.
so paranoid about getting killed or whatever that they have a smaller and smaller circle, and so they
Yes
just
men who will
isolate.
tell them what they want to hear. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
definitely.
it's really difficult to see out, I think, when you go way deep in like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But the population is just, it's so frustrating. I watch a lot of YouTube like interviews, street interviews, that sort of thing. And then I just talk to a lot of ordinary Russians all over the country. Of course, like St. Petersburg and Moscow, they're much more cushy and comfortable, and it's a big city life. So they pretend like it's not a big deal, or at least there's some kind of removed oh, I live in the city and there's a war somewhere over there. But still, the attitudes are pretty shite.
Yeah,
Most people are
that
pretty
probably
bad.
grates on you really bad after a while. I can imagine.
After listening to drones over your head, I mean, God, Ben, I'm sure I can't imagine any of it. But it's like, so here's the way I think about it, which is something that I think a lot of Westerners don't get, is like Russians are really good at tolerating. There's a
Yes,
word,
they are.
yeah,
Yeah.
терпеть. There's a word in Russian, терпеть,
Right.
to tolerate, which is like the entirety of Russian history is just
Yep.
ordinary people tolerating shit after shit after shit after shit. And
Yep.
with all of the sanctions that are hitting them, they're just laughing at us. They're like, you know what? You don't even know how much we can tolerate. You can try and like take our shit away, or our YouTube, or our fruits and vegetables, or whatever it is that we import. It's still, we can tolerate because we'll protect our, sacred Russian soul, or whatever they think is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's like a joke that like, oh, I lost my foot. Oh, it's okay. You got another one. Yeah, I do. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. For
See,
real.
It's similar in China. My wife's from China, so
Okay.
it's similar there. Like they have it. Their saying's called "eat bitter." Like
Yes.
they can just endure.
In the
like,
face. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, like if from a Western perspective, we went over there and were treated like that, you would be appalled. Like the human rights atrocities that are happening every day for just small things.
Yes. And what I'm realizing though is that like Westerners, we have this attitude of like, oh look, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, like the people stood up to the oppressor, all of this stuff. And they're imposing all these sanctions, like hoping and waiting for the general population to have had enough of all of this and stand up. And they will never. They will never. They will keep. They will continue to tolerate and just bitch around and moan and in private. And so it's never going to come from the people. So the only way is to carry on with supporting Ukraine and take care of it like we did with Germany, should we say, until the source is eliminated.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone ever wants to actually attack Russia.
No.
People have a bad. Everyone who did that has a bad history.
Yeah, there's
No.
there's a little winter problem that happens.
It's not that.
And then
I don't mind.
Russians also don't want people to attack them either, I'm sure. Even if it frees them.
Well, look, I mean, that's happening currently. Ukraine overtook the Kursk Oblast, and
Right.
they're just like, oh, look at that. We're, I guess, part of Ukraine now, which is a big FU to Putin, of course. But I do believe that Ukraine needs Crimea back. Just give back all of the territory that was taken to properly say back off.
Right.
So that it can never be questioned, because truthfully, Russia will continue. Like, if we let them, if we concede, they will continue. Putin has an image of an imperial Russia that stretches all the way to Poland, to Germany. They will continue.
Yeah, that's one guy I listen to, Peter Zihan. He says the same thing. It's like it's just like a huge plane, and you don't have anything to anchor behind, so they're going to keep on going until they get to the Baltic Sea or the mountains in Czech Republic or wherever. So yeah, they have to.
And as you know, Crimea is strategic because it's their only port to the sea. Russia is geographically very fucked if you look at it. Like, it's on all borders, all sides. It's just completely fucked.
Even with the agriculture.
Oh yeah.
It's all in one little narrow band. So
yes. The rest is tundra. It's like barren. Siberia is.
Yeah, or like desert. Too far south in the desert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this guy that I listen to, Peter Zeihan, he tells what makes like a great country, and that's one of the things is like America has like 2 oceans, so it's got a hard outer shell, it's got mountains, desert to the south. Canada has a hat.
Yep.
It has like the best farmland with the huge river that can cut down
Mississippi, the Mississippi as a natural way through
coast. Yeah, it's like
isolated.
It's like we're OP'd a country, so that's why.
Strategically speaking, America is the most beneficial. Like, geographically speaking, it's very.
So I'm just wondering, like, okay, so like the Russian people, they've lived in that area for generations and generations, right? Like, how does that affect your personality type? Like, there has to be some kind of like feedback where it's like selecting for certain people.
So obviously, I mean, through the lens of ops, we've all been in this world for a couple of years, and now it's nearly impossible not to observe, ops characteristics with everybody that you talk to. And I kind of do this like live chatting with Russians regularly. It's just through some silly site. I'm sure you guys heard of like Omegle or Chat Roulette or something like that. Yeah, maybe. No?
Yeah,
Chat Roulette?
I've seen it around.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb, but the idea is you still get to talk to ordinary people. And you don't have to go through layers of media or, like get your understanding from some ambiguous source. You get to talk to people directly. And I almost feel like I'm doing some kind of service by talking to ordinary Russians and who are very skeptical and often very fearful or like very standoffish with Americans. And I'm able to kind of bridge that gap. So somehow I think I'm doing some kind of service to these people. I just enjoy it.
Are you broadcasting it? Are you recording it? Putting it online?
No, I'm not recording it. It's just one-on-one.
That's a good idea. I'd love to watch that.
Really? Well, I mean, it's in Russian, so it would require a lot of
You'd have to translate it,
yeah.
Wait. So there's Chat Roulette. You go on there and you just talk to a stranger?
Strangers all over the world. It's literally Chat Roulette, as you can imagine.
I tried it once, and like every single person was just a penis.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are doing other things, as you can imagine. But like, if you actually get to ordinary people, which does happen, that's what I'm after. Yeah, and you can tell, like, if someone's trying to, put a penis in your face, you're just like, all right, next, whatever. I don't care. I'm not trying to do this. So it doesn't matter. But it's a good idea. Yeah. And you can select like which countries you want to talk to. And obviously I'm trying to be more selective with Russia, Ukraine. And so I get a lot of stories from these people. I've gathered a whole ton of interesting backstories. I've actually talked to a bunch of folks who have already immigrated to the US, like through Mexico recently in the last few years. Russians, usually single dudes who are like in their 20s, who have run away and, risked it all to try and get through Mexico, which is an adventure in itself. So those are interesting stories. Then you get like, kind of like very rural folks in very small towns who are very America skeptical. I mean, obviously a lot of these folks are watching propaganda news and think that we're like these evil people. And so I'm able to bridge that a little since I speak their language, that I kind of am familiar with that culture, that I was born there. A lot of people around the world, not just Russia, have this like thing where, oh, if you're born there, then you're one of us. Even though I'm very much American and have hardly any like Russian cultural, so it's interesting because immediately they're like, oh my God, you have a really strong American accent. Like those Americans, they took one of our people, it's really silly sometimes the way they talk about it. But
you seem really good at your play.
Huh?
You seem really good at your play.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's intense and double masculine. Maybe that's why. Yeah, but so actually, I'll tell you what. This was not play. What I'm doing is not play right now. This is blast. Because I'm just unidirectionally. I was born in Russia, or the Soviet Union, you could actually say. I was not born in Russia. I was born in Kubyshev, which is now Samara on the Volga River. And I immigrated when I was 3 to San Francisco, like a lot of folks did at that time, and have been here ever since.
So is that after the collapse of,
Yeah.
before the collapse or during that time?
After, yeah, definitely within a year or two. Like my parents were young, they were 25 or so and had a little kid, me. What's interesting this time or back then is that there was no Google, there was no knowledge base to teach them about what America is. So it was really a huge risk of like, guess we'll find out. So
Yeah,
props to them.
we've got a neighbor that lives down the street. She's also from Russia. She's closer to my age though.
Mm-hmm.
So she left probably when she was like in her teens or early 20s and came to America.
Oh yeah. Well, and by then, like teens and 20s, that's, you're already a solidified person by then. You're not in your formative years. Like I grew up in America, you could say, and am much more American than I am Russian at this point. But somebody in their teens who grew up in the Soviet Union,
Yeah,
different.
she talks about it nostalgically because like in the 80s it was like tough. They had like the Cold War going on,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, it's like nostalgic because there's tough, so they like bound together, right? Just like in any bad situations, it's sort of like a binding agent.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's hard to bind when everyone is kind of like spying on you and being very skeptical of everyone. And there's still a lot of culture of shame in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing life in one very linear, appropriate way, like very ST way, then you're just you should be shamed to death. And that's very much still the attitude.
So is it more like a collectivist type thing?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lot like China in that way as well, where it's like, don't stand out too much.
Yeah, if you stand out, man, the hammer's coming on that nail, right?
From every person in society, from your parents to your teachers to your everyone. Like if you stand out, that's not.
Oh no, you're not allowed to
anyone.
be an IP. You're not allowed to be an IP.
You're not in Russia. Or IPs have to just sit in silence and in their cave and do their little things at home. Never stick out, not publicly.
Yeah, you don't think that's a message that you got from it, and then the IPs would get the other message, or?
I don't know. What kind of message does that? Imagine living in that society, then. Like, how would you live that life?
You have to be yourself because that's all you have. I don't know. Just trying to figure out what an IP message would be to take from all that.
Being yourself is not allowed.
Well, that's what EJs say. Yeah, so that makes you an EJ.
Yeah. Spelling out my type.
Right. What's up, by the way, to the Cheyenne brothers? I didn't say hi to you guys.
Hey, guys.
What's up? You got a cool jacket, yeah.
Yeah, on that note, I do have to go. I have a meeting, but I might be back depending on how long you guys are around. It was fun chatting.
Right. See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Wait, I got my Cheyenne Ukraine scarves. I have like 10 more. Just thought it's appropriate to show. Oh, yeah. Purple, Here's my black one that I wear every day. White one, and I have like 50 more in my cabinets.
It looks almost Hawaiian, no? A little bit.
That's what I used to think. I thought they were just straight up native designs because there's people also in like Central and South America that have like the flowers and like butterfly designs, but I guess it's actually like from Ukraine. When I was in Israel, I even saw like this lady wearing a white one that looked exactly like mine. I was like, whoa, I have one of those. But yeah, I guess it's from Ukraine, and so we took the scarves they use. So
Graham Hancock would say that's evidence that there was an ancient civilization that was all advanced.
yeah,
To everybody now, everybody does that, right?
yeah. So yeah, we are culturally appropriating the Ukraines, but appropriately because it's a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Angel? Are you still in Eugene?
Yep, I'm still here. I ain't leaving for a while.
Oh, so how come you're here for so long?
College.
Oh, are you going to the U of O?
Yep.
Oh, cool. What do you study?
Neuroscience.
Oh, nice.
I thought you were in a bunker too. Metal room.
No. Here.
I didn't realize you were
see.
living here. I thought it was just a like a short thing.
Oh no. No, I'm here permanently for a couple years.
Cool.
You said neuroscience? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Is that or computer engineering? So
Have you just started or?
kinda not. So I already got. So before I came here to UO, I was at SIPI, which is in Albuquerque. Got my basics there. Graduated with my associates in liberal arts. Transferred here. So now I just got to take all the more STEM related classes. So
So do you like Eugene so far?
I haven't really got to explore it, but from the little that I've been to, it's pretty nice. Springfield, it's pretty ghetto. It's definitely
Yeah.
hippie back that way.
It's different. Yeah.
It's definitely different.
Have you eaten anything good here?
There's a breakfast place. I went there. That was all right. It was a little too gourmet for me because I was looking for Mexican, and the closest they had was chorizo. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was all right.
What was that called? What place was it?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, I don't go
literally
out
2
much.
blocks away. Oh, you don't?
Yeah, I
All right.
probably wouldn't know about it anyway. So like, I never go out to eat. I'm kind of out of touch with the local restaurants.
Weird. But what else? But yeah, I'm planning on going hiking maybe this week or next week. We'll see.
Yeah, there's tons of options for hiking. Lots of outdoor activities.
Yep. I haven't gotten used to the cold yet. It's a lot colder than I expected.
Yeah, yesterday was intense.
Yeah,
Was it yesterday
it
or the
was.
day before? Yeah, it was the first really. I
No,
have a
no.
fire going right now. Yeah,
Yeah. So
30.
I
It
was
was
expecting it.
34 this morning when I woke up. 34 degrees.
I know. Y'all could feel it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get out of bed, but I was like, fuck it. So
It won't always be like that because when it rains, like in a couple days, it's going to rain. The temperature is always warmer when it's raining.
really?
So I think tomorrow they said it's going to be 70.
Yeah, I saw
it's
that.
just difference between today and tomorrow.
Reminds me of Oklahoma. Bipolar.
Yeah.
What kind of job options do you expect from that neuroscience stuff?
So I don't know, it's quite a bit. So if I continue on and I decide to go to medical school, I could be a psychiatrist or obviously a brain surgeon. What else? But with just the basics, it's mostly like generic stuff like research lab assistant or researcher. What else?
You can be like an influencer, like Huberman.
If I wanted to, yeah. But if I do that, that's PhD. So,
Oh,
which more than likely I'm going to do, but I haven't thought. And I last, I'm wearing that later.
mm-hmm. He's got options.
Yeah, I'm keeping my options open.
Yeah.
SE. Oh, Annie, I have a question actually.
Yeah.
If I wanted to schedule an appointment, where can I find that, or where can I reach you?
Can you let me put it in the chat? I don't know if you can put links in here. Yeah, there it is. Do you see the private chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Make sure it works.
Right.
Yeah, so I do I do regular massage with my hands a little bit, but primarily most of my clients come to me for barefoot massage where I use my feet. So either way, whatever some people are not interested in trying the whole foot thing, but most of my clients like it, and that's what I specialize in. Yeah. Because it's deeper. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not even joking. My hamstrings are still sore.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
From last week.
Yeah, from last week. I confirmed it yesterday.
And also, I'm really close to U of O. Are you living on campus?
Yeah, I'm on campus.
Yeah, I'm super close. I'm in South Eugene, so it wouldn't be too far to travel.
Are you trying not to share your website publicly, Andy?
No, I don't care. I mean, he's in Eugene, and everyone else listening probably isn't, so it doesn't matter. But you can put it publicly if you want.
Yeah, because everyone probably wants to see your website. If
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah.
I wish Dave was here because I've been thinking about what he said about true love and how he types people off of that. But oh well.
Oh, what did he say?
I did not hear that.
Like 2 weeks ago, he was talking about what was it?
I remember. Yeah.
We were talking about about love and blah blah blah. But anyway, so and I've been thinking about it like, do I believe in true love? But
yeah, go ahead, share your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to blast? Oh god.
Yeah.
True love, is that like true love in type or just true love in general?
Just true love in general. Just true love in general. I don't believe in true love, but I do believe in love. But then see, my ST brain had to think about that. I was like, wait, if I really do believe that, then I'm still trying to fully formulate it for myself. But yeah. I think a lot
it's
of
one
things.
Of those things we don't have a definition for it. And it was Nico also who was talking about love at first sight. Like, what is that? What do people?
Oh, that.
Yeah.
I think
maybe that was a
separate
conversation.
Yeah, but I think in the case of like love at first sight is like I don't know. It could be a mix of things. Maybe something in the NF, or maybe it's just how chemicals,
Yeah, humans,
or maybe both.
Humans have to get together somehow.
Yeah,
Humans have to get together somehow.
Love at first sight and lust at first sight. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, when I met my partner, it wasn't like love at first sight, but it was a very strong feeling of like, okay, wait, this one's important. Pay attention to this one. I didn't know what it was yet, but this person, I kind of can get a sense like this person's important for some reason. I'm going to learn something from this person, or I'm still going to know them in 10 years or whatever. But there is also like a lust thing, because I know I've met people for the first time, just seeing their face, and I'm like, oh, we're totally going to fuck. I mean, I can just tell. And And nobody's like doing anything like overtly. It's just like I look at that person, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And that
Yeah.
happened to me one time with someone I met in a class, and then yeah, I mean there was nothing, nobody was like really like hitting on anybody, but then like sure enough, a few months later, like, oh yeah, I knew that because I saw that in your face the first time I looked at you. Yeah. It's just this mutual kind of like
It's like animalistic, right?
yeah,
Like it's got to be back in the lizard brain, right?
Yeah.
something, yeah. But I mean the problem with talking about like love or true love is like there's no definition. There's all these like different working definitions,
Right.
but there's no
Well,
like exact definition.
right. And when I was actually thinking about that, and I was like, well, okay, there's all kinds of love. So, but that doesn't disregard that love exists. So that's kind of how I guess, came to the conclusion that I don't believe in true love, but I believe in love. So,
In Hebrew, the root word for love is giving, and I think there's like two kinds of loves. There's like a love where you want something from the person,
Mhm.
and then there's the other kind where like you just want to give to the person.
Mhm.
So
And I
I guess like what the language is trying to say, it's like that's love. The other thing is called something else.
Yeah, I think of it more as an action, or like a choice.
Yeah.
Choice.
Yeah, that you stick by someone no matter how boring and annoying they are because you love them. And then it changes. There's like the initial
So then
kind of
Russians love their country.
yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
like it changes, when you're with someone for a really long time, then it's like it totally has this different like depth and richness that's about going through adversity together. It's like a shared history.
See, I would see that as evidence for love, but like real love, you wouldn't want the other person to have to go through shit just to prove it to you, right? Or would
No,
you?
Yeah.
no, you wouldn't, but that's just life.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that's a loving choice to, like, maybe it's not love, but it's a loving choice that you stick by someone. You don't bail, when things
Right.
get hard. And the reason you don't bail is because you love them.
I think like those cultures that have like prearranged marriages, they talk about that a lot. Is like they didn't really have chemistry at the first, but they just by fact of raising a family and going through life, they become close and have love.
Yeah.
I wanted to NF blast about something else. Well, I forgot. It'll come to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was about using love for typing.
No.
Isn't that what you said Dave did or whatever?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
yeah.
yeah, that's how they discovered typology. I don't think it was love. It was how can you criticize these people and make fun of them and hate on them, and then
Oh,
that's
no.
their type.
I meant
Yeah.
David, not Dave. David.
Oh, the other Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
INTP Dave.
I remember a couple of years ago there was some couple trying to make like a typology dating app or something. You guys remember that?
There's a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that ever worked. Probably not, huh?
Type match is one of them. I don't know if it worked.
Well, I mean, considering
the
that
third
like,
one, the
most
third
people are typed incorrectly, then it's all random anyway. You might as well use a regular app.
Right. Yeah.
And they could put that on the OPS member website.
Oh. I'm channel changing. Benjamin.
Yo.
So right now I'm taking a East Asian literature and language class.
Okay.
And we were going over like how different languages format their sentences. So like in English it's subject, verb, object. But in Hebrew it's verb, object, subject, I think. I might be wrong.
Is that how it is? Yeah, that's interesting.
If I remember correctly. But anyway, And so I wanted to ask you, like, how you process information in Hebrew. Is it similar to how you process English? I mean, disregarding, the fact that,
Hebrew feels more similar.
cognitive.
Yeah, I don't know if about the subject object stuff, but Hebrew feels more similar in general to how I process information, period. And then like English feels like more of a translation.
Really
Yeah. But I mean,
interesting.
I'm still way more fluent and capable in English.
And then what about in your dreams? Is it primarily one language over the other, or is it just a mix of both?
Yeah, I guess it's a string of understandings, right? That people are that yeah. Words don't matter as much because of the NI, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I was thinking about that because like in Japanese or like Chinese and Korean, like how you format the sentence, it's completely different from English, which I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I never really sat down and really think about it. But I was thinking about, okay,
Yeah.
well, if each language formats their sentence differently, then I would assume that regardless of your cognitive functions, you're going to process information in a particular way because of how the language is structured. So
Yeah, I feel
but yeah,
like
it was just
regardless,
something
I
was
have to
thinking about.
restructure the information. Like regardless, you have to restructure it for yourself. You're just
That's
extracting
true.
that structure from the sentence. But then, like,
Mhm.
yes, you do need the elements. You do need a subject and object or something like that for some kind of communication. Because, like, what are you communicating about? How do you provide context? Right.
Right. Oh, it was just interesting thought I had.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, some years ago, I remember reading a study or hearing about a study where they said the same thing, like the different languages could actually change the way you think about stuff. I'm not sure how accurate that it would be, but
Yeah. No, because like every language has a different definition for their words.
Mhm.
So, like when we're talking about love, for example, so I would add a different definition to it in Hebrew than I would like in French would be different as well.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there's that.
Hey,
Just in time.
Oh.
how's it going today?
It's going good. How about you?
Good, good. I was out running a few errands. Sorry, I missed the start of this. What were we talking about?
Right now we're talking about language.
Language. All right.
Your boy Angel's got a question for you, though.
Oh no, it was more like a statement, but basically, I don't believe. Well, for context, what was it, 2 weeks ago we were talking, or you were talking about how you categorize people that believe in true love and don't believe in true love,
Yeah.
and so I was thinking about it because I actually was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. But anyway, long story short, I don't believe in true love, but I believe in love. So
Okay. Now, what does that say? What was my theory again?
I don't remember what your theory was. It was just how you categorize people that believe in love and believe in true love. That was it.
all I can hear right now is the quote from that one movie, Marriage. You know that what's that movie called from the 80s? Princess Bride. Marriage.
See, the problem is true love doesn't like we don't have a definition for that. I mean, there is
We'll
no.
call it different things. Yeah. So I noticed that people call this different things. So you might be more inclined to call it
Yeah.
soulmates or something like that.
I feel like it had a bunch of different
Yeah.
contexts.
Soulmates is the same thing as saying true love.
Yeah. See, my problem with the word soulmate is like that could be your nemesis. Your nemesis is a soulmate.
That's
Wait,
true.
wait.
I agree. I agree. I've been married.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. No. Like,
You do need a bad guy. You do need a bad guy in your story somewhere. So
well,
like you should love your bad guy, you know.
the way I
Someone
would
to
describe
contrast you.
soulmate
You can't
is
ever come to potential. Yeah.
But
Okay,
as-
I'm
Sorry, go
sorry.
ahead,
I'm a
Eddie.
little stuck on SI, but is y'all spelled with another apostrophe like that? I can't.
No.
y'all's.
Is it
The
y'all?
apostrophe should be in
it's
front
not.
of A.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
It's bothering me.
That's further south. you add more apostrophes the further south you live. So
Like, is there? It is with two
true.
apostrophes. Whoa. Okay, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, I guess I should know that. I'm from Texas. But so I think a soulmate is anybody who teaches you a big lesson in your life. So it could be a nemesis, like not like someone you're
Right.
not romantic
Okay.
with at all, like a business partner that you
Oh,
have
yeah.
big challenges and lessons with. That's a soulmate.
And
I heard
that's
an
what I would
interesting,
say
um,
is
Oh.
Yeah, I heard an interesting thing about. So apparently, there's one thing that you complain about, or your soul complains about, in the afterlife, and what the soul complains to God about is, why didn't you make my life harder?
Mhm.
And yeah, that's an interesting question because that's not one you ask while you're alive, but it's something that's like it's an interesting way to frame what your soul asks because the nemesis is what brings out your potential. And so the complaint is, I could have been so much greater. You didn't pull enough out of me.
More challenges, please.
Right.
so,
And so, yeah. So like when you get married or whatever, that's kind of what you get.
so Batman and Joker. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why? When you get married.
You get the challenges. You get the contrast. You get something to pull out your potential by force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say is wouldn't you define love by contrasting it to its opposite? Like if there's the two coins to it, like people say like hate and love. So wouldn't it be the opposite of hate?
No,
If it is.
opposite of love
It's a
is
very
apathy.
binary way to look at it. Yeah.
So, is there such a thing as true hate?
No,
Is it?
apathy is the
Like
opposite.
Palpatine?
No, one. It's like light and dark. One is a lack of the other.
Yeah, but hate's not the opposite of love. Apathy is the opposite of love.
That's right.
Some
What's
people say
apathy?
it's fear.
I'm pretty
Guys,
sure
so-
Martin Luther King has
So
it.
do we really? So that's one of the big questions in like defining love. Is it? I kind of wonder: is it something that is completely indivisible? Like it doesn't have an opposite, or does it have an opposite? And if it does, well, what is it?
I think giving and taking kind of works as a binary.
Yeah.
But then couldn't you say that love is both giving and taking?
Yeah.
No, because when you're taking, you're allowing someone else to give. It's different kind of taking.
But what if you hate someone so much you give them a bomb, but you love somebody so much you give them flowers? Or you're giving both?
Okay.
You're like,
What any was that?
Give him a bomb.
no,
or
like
give him
because if you're
flowers?
giving, if you love or hate, you're gonna like I'm throwing hate at you. I'm giving you my hate because I got beef with you. But if I roll with you, then it's like, you know,
I accept feet pics for love. That's my currency.
Word. All right.
You're not one of those feet perverts, are you?
I am unfortunately not. I would always wonder, like, why don't I have a foot fetish and other people do?
Yeah.
And I wasn't born with one because it's like a genetically. Maybe you can get genetically modified. You know.
I want to be.
Neuroscience. That's on you.
Yeah,
I
I'll
want-
figure that out for you. How about that?
I want to be
want that
accepting
opportunity.
and compassionate about that, but I am so sick of foot fetish guys.
I know. I like that's all I was like, Annie and foot fetish guys, that's true hate right there. I feel like that would just be so uncomfortable if I was in that situation. Yeah. But you've also talked about your uncomfortable situations at work with other people. So I do have a reference point for that.
Yeah, it doesn't come up much, but when it does, it's annoying.
It's like, yeah, this happened 10 years ago. Like, are you serious? Like, yeah. So it is a rare occurrence, though.
It happened a lot more when I was younger. It just doesn't happen, it's only happened once in the last decade. Yeah.
And people with foot fetishes are like really low. I don't know the percent, but I bet it's under like 5%.
They're under 5% of the population, but 80% of the internet traffic on the web.
yeah.
Yeah, someone's looking at emotions here on the spectrum. So yeah, looking at the spectrum of emotions. There's positive ones and negative ones. But yeah, like if you wanted to look at it on like an ST chemical side, so yeah, I'm sure love and hate are completely different mechanisms. I wouldn't relate them.
I'm trying to think of it of like in the sense of using like OP to define terms, like how I say thinking and feeling are like like a dual coin. Maybe that's how
Yeah.
emotions work, or different types of thinking works, or
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
how a type of thinking works. That's binary thinking. So you want to form everything in some kind of binary. But
Well, I know.
it's useful. It's just not always right.
I know in neuroscience, or this might be a psychology thing. I only found out about it because of a book I was reading on neuroscience. But anyway, they call it affect, and they actually have it on a Y and X axis. I thought that was interesting.
Affects.
Affects?
Yeah, affect.
Do you have a diagram to pull up?
Aflac, the insurance company.
No, affects.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, affects.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
Explain, Manuel. Teach us. Give us the blast.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, well, like literally, like I said, like it's in the book. It specifically says that affect is basically what the equivalent to emotion in layman terms, but they call it affect, and it's basically on an X and Y axis. And I forgot why that was relevant, but basically, the brain also. Oh, that's why. Because most of affect, from what they can tell, seems to be influenced by your sensory perceptions, which, I mean, I think that's kind of a given, but, and so they don't actually fully understand how affect is influenced, but they know that it's influenced by your perception or sensory input, as they call it.
What are the axes? What are the labels on the axes?
I don't remember. I should have
Oh.
took a picture. Actually, I think I did take a picture.
I still don't get why I should sign up for Aflacs.
No. Because the duck is really
Just
cute.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Gilbert Godfrey's voice got me. That's why.
Yeah, so I'm not totally understanding why that would be based on sensory perception.
Yeah, I don't know that either. But it
Because
sounds like the affect is how you display emotion on your face, and I guess there has to be some kind of mechanism for that. Like there's a difference, right, between how you display it on your face and between what it is.
Mhm.
Two different things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they are connected because you do display your emotions on your face.
I was just reading it as that's the input. You have to have the sensory input before you form an emotion or something.
Right, but you can also, there could be some, you perpetuate emotional states just purely by thinking. Like there's nothing sensory happening, but your thoughts are affecting your mood or keeping you like entrenched in a mood. I don't know. Like maybe I guess we have to nail down the definitions better first, or we can.
So maybe if like your thoughts are the sensory input.
Well, I don't really think of thoughts as sensory, but
Maybe that means the dream world is real, like we were saying earlier, because your dream world is your sensory input and it's making you
could
do
be.
stuff. No. You never know.
yeah, like that jellyfish that I saw. It was interesting because there doesn't seem to be any kind of emotion there, and there is a sensory there, but like it's very simple processing of that sensory. Like it's like there's no distance between the experience and the decision side. It's like the experience dictates the decision. There's no difference between it. Very simple animal. Thinking also about like the snake that doesn't really have a taste buds, where it's like its representation of reality doesn't involve taste in any of its decisions.
Okay.
Interesting.
I did not find the picture, but
Right.
after doing quick Google search, basically, it's on a Y and X axis. So it's the Y is activation and deactivation, and the other is like pleasant versus unpleasant, something like that. But anyway, and then also you were talking about sensory input. So also neural, at least in the field of neuroscience, and how the brain works. The brain makes a prediction, and it, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It'll try and like use the sensory input as a reference, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll use the sensory input. If it rather use the prediction, then it'll go off prediction.
So, like anxiety, as an example, is like you're
Yeah,
worrying about
exactly.
it and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah, it sounds
exactly.
like a small part of cognition, which you're describing, but
Yeah,
it is a part of cognition. Yeah, that is definitely a part of it.
right.
Hmm.
But anyways, once I figure out emotion and make a equation, I'll let y'all know. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
You got to upload it to his robots.
Yeah. So also another thing Anna was touching on a little bit was how a people connect to the land. Guys were cycling through ideas on maybe there's like a coevolution with the land or something.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's interesting how some people are able to succeed in lands and other people aren't, and it's the same land. Um,
That's she's talking about it in like Ukraine.
yeah, I'm reminded of this story where the Assyrian king back thousands of years ago, what they would do, and when they conquered one land, is they would move the people they would do people swaps between lands, just to mess with people and say that we've conquered you. So now you're going to this land, and now you're going to that land. And there was a story of this one people in this other land, and it was just filled with lions, and the lions kept eating the people, and they didn't know how to deal with it. And it's like, yeah, you can't put the wrong people in the wrong land. Like there is a yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting aside.
Yeah, that's how it is over here. Everybody's tripping. Well, I think it kind of in America as a whole, but like natives too. Like, well, actually, Angel, how is it like? How's the northwestern tribes up there? How are they doing?
I don't know. Well, actually, I take that back. I know a little bit. So, one of my friends, he's Europe, and one I kind of read about it because one of my classes. But anyway, a lot of the salmon, population was decreasing for like a whole decade, but as of recent, it's been going back up because they finally took down a dam that wasn't producing enough energy to, I guess, be seen as viable. And so they decided to take it down. And well, first the tribe took witness to court, and then they won, and that's why they took it down. But because of that, the salmon population started increasing again. So, but
What did
besides
it do to
that,
the energy?
oh, it literally did nothing. Like
Oh,
it was barely producing enough energy to power a town on its own. It was part of the effort during the Great Depression to give people jobs. So that's why they did it. I know
How
that
long
didn't
ago?
answer the question. But
No, how long ago was that?
how long ago? What? When they took it down?
Yeah.
I think a couple years ago, like
Oh,
5,
okay.
4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it is over. Like I guess we're supposed to have a Buc-ee's deal over here. If you don't know what the Buc-ee's is, it's this giant, huge gas station, cool place. And hey, what's up, Tiago? And the our tribe refused the deal. We're all supposed to get a Hard Rock Casino, which is the big brand of casinos.
And
We
they
also
said no.
denied that deal. Yeah. So, but the reasoning is because we didn't get enough on the deal on our end as a tribe, so we'd have lost money in getting it. So I don't know the details because I'm not in office looking at the numbers, but from what they're saying is it's because of they're trying to scam us so they can get the win on these business deals. Whether that's true, I'm pretty sure it's maybe that's true, but I think it's also true that our tribe's just tripping because we've been the same the past 50 years doing nothing. So I think maybe it's a bit of both. I mean, if I could get in there and see the actual receipts and see what's going on, but I mean, I know that's happened in the past, but I don't know about right now. So that's why why they refused the deals to do stuff. But even then, our tribe is still, and many other tribes are selling our lands to private companies, private equity, whatever. And so we're that or they partnership with them to do like oil is still huge in Oklahoma, and they're constantly trading oil reserves and who has ownership of it. And but it's been the same for like since the 70s. So the tribal complex has been there since the 90s. And I forgot the original question, but yes, that's our current progress with what we're doing as our own nation, and many others are in the same spot. Some are doing better or worse. Some are doing a lot better. So yeah.
The question was about land, though.
Oh, getting in touch with the land. Oh yeah, we're selling it. So yeah. And we're like our reservation is supposed to be the entire western part of Oklahoma. But now we have it in spots. We don't even have like an official map of what we have. It's kind of scattered in spots. Yeah. Sometimes we buy it. Like there'll be auctions.
Wait. Well, remember they just approved the Colorado plot.
So we did buy that land. They
No,
just
we
had
didn't
the
buy
same.
it. They gave it to us, didn't they? I thought they gave it.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's Fort something, and they finally won it in court. If I remember correctly.
But there's something good we're doing. And we had just had our Sand Creek run, the Sand Creek Massacre run. I think just this last week. And to go on a rant here again is where the Sand Creek Massacre is where it was an Iron Man 3 with the dude. He explained the story where the native dudes went out hunting, and then that's when the U.S. military came in and like slaughtered the camp. And then so so now we go there every year and like run as like a memorial type thing. And we just went and run like the entire campgrounds in Sand Creek like last week. So yeah, we're doing good stuff too. So I probably made it sound pretty negative, but yeah, we got some good things going on as well.
So what are you saying, Tiago? You had something to say on this?
Hi, can you hear me well?
Yep.
Yeah.
I caught you guys like at the end of that conversation, but yeah, I see like a sort of dualism between that. But it was just what you guys were saying. That idea that you have emotion, and within what emotion is, you have all this interplay between positive and negative emotion. But the opposite of emotion is non-emotion. When you talk about the opposite of hate, that's kind of a tricky question because it depends on what direction do you want to go. Do you want to go opposite in terms of the entire set in which hate is contained, and then you're talking about non-emotion, or do you want to talk about opposite within the set that hate is contained? Then you're talking about love. You know, depends on what you mean by opposite there, but yeah.
One of my daughter's favorite songs is that song. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I don't know. It seems like they're not opposites.
I mean, you can alternate between the both. I don't really know how you could do both at the same time. Maybe I just haven't experienced it yet.
Maybe.
Or maybe I lost my childhood innocence. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. I say opposites
Anyone
because
Anyone else think it's possible or impossible?
Sorry?
Maybe someone else thinks it's possible or impossible to love and hate something at the same time.
Yes, maybe.
Anybody?
I don't know if you're trying to refer to someone else specifically.
I'm just asking if someone wants to weigh in on it, because
Well, I mean,
You haven't.
I've noticed some people have a greater capacity to hold two opposing emotions at the same time.
right.
You know, like I had a client who I loved and hated, but it depends on the definition of what we're talking about at the same time.
But for different things, right?
Yeah.
I understand. That makes sense to me, at least. You know, it's like sweet and sour, you know? When you're eating something that's sweet and sour, it's like one millisecond you notice the sweet, the next millisecond you're noticing the sour, but it's never... It's not really both at the same time. It's just a quick alternation, a very quick alternation. And you can say the same about your feelings towards people, I think.
My feelings towards people.
Are there things you can mix at the same time that aren't alternations?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Huh?
Are there things that you can mix at the same time that aren't alternation?
Are the things... Sorry, you're going to have to repeat that. I'm kind of tired.
So you were saying how you can mix sweet and sour at the same time?
Right.
But only because it's an alternation. So are there things you can mix at the same time that aren't alternations?
No, because to alternate means that you have to shift between one and the other. But if you mix them, if it's something that's mixable, right, then there's no shift because it becomes just one compound. So it depends on what we mean by this. When you do a sauce that's sweet and sour, the things that are sweet never really mix with the things that are sour. You have two separate building blocks that never actually mixed. It's just that one in your tongue, like one's coming into contact and producing the sweet, and then in the next instance, the other one is producing the sour. But something that is actually mixed, when you really mix something, those two things become one, and so there's no alternation because that's just one thing. It's like maybe I could make an analogy to make it clearer here. I'm not thinking of anything
like
right now.
Like what is it? What are those things called? Those gummies? Sour Patch Kid and smoothie.
Yeah, but it's like coffee and milk, right? You blend them together, they become just one substance, right? There's no alternation between the taste of coffee and the taste of milk because they just became one thing, right? But if they were separate, well, that's not realistic. But if you did drink them separately, right, you could notice the flavors at different times. I don't know why I'm getting so specific on this. It's just to get the metaphor, I guess.
So is there no taste of sweet and sour at the same time? That isn't a taste that you have on your taste buds? You don't feel like that exists? That feeling of sweet and sour at the same time?
Right now, I wouldn't say so. No. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. I can experience very quick alternations, but that's
maybe you're able
not
to
the same thing as at the same time.
Maybe you're able to sense the difference easier in those, but there is a mixed state.
Well, you can go that way because you can make the, well, for example, okay, right, you're in physics, right? What is a particle? It's just something that's much smaller, but it's moving around so quickly that it actually kind of occupies a bigger volume. Please correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's kind of like that, right? And so
that's an analogy for it. Yeah, that's not how it works, though.
it's more. I think it's more complicated. Yeah.
The idea that it's a particle goes against the idea that it's moving around so fast.
Right. Well, I kind of want to process that, but I wanted to get on with my analogy here. Maybe I can find another thing to use it to explain. I think I know what you mean, because when something alternates really quickly, it becomes a wheel. A wheel, for example. If you see a wheel spinning and it spins slow, you can notice that it is spinning. But if it spins really fast, it kind of just becomes one blob thing that you can't really tell whether it's moving or not. It's like also
it's the sample rate. That's the sample rate of your eyes. That was
exactly
interesting too on those squids.
Rate.
So the squids, they have like such a low sample rate on their visual information. Not the squids, sorry, the medusas, the jellyfish. They have this like really low sample rate. So they would give them the average sample rate, and which is just like a gray, and then that would be a low contrast. And so like their entire decision matrix and sensory matrix was with this contrast idea. And the gray would get rid of the contrast, so the visual image would seem like there was nothing there. It would be invisible. I don't know. It's interesting.
I had never heard of that before. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've been talking about this video. It's such an interesting animal.
Oh.
Oh. That's weird. They both just got kicked from the stream at the same time.
Well, yeah, I wasn't talking much because I was looking for that song Ben was talking about, and I found it. I like it, I love it, I hate it song. I posted in the link. And
again, I clicked the video instead of opening on a new tab. Sorry.
Oh, that's what happened.
That's okay. Yeah.
I thought you went to go eat sweet and sour chicken. That's what I thought you went.
Man, I'm full, but I would have eaten that. I love chicken. Love me some chicken, man.
Yeah, that's that song. Okay, but now that I finally found the song and I'm satisfied now. Yes, what Tiago is saying, like the binary and everything, like, or different types of opposites of how hate and love is opposite on a spectrum of emotion, but a spectrum of like a grander spectrum on top of that would be feeling and thinking is like kind of similar, like personality, how like if you're ESTP Tom Holland, your opposite could be Zendaya, an INFP, or an ENFJ. So there's different types of opposites on different axes and on different circumstances.
Yeah. I can give one example for that. A lot of INTPs will date ESFPs. It's a weird pairing.
The Sam Altman dude dates an ESFP, doesn't he? From OpenAI, from ChatGPT.
Well, now he's married, but probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird pairing.
It was one of his co-workers, I think. I didn't know he got married.
It was like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Ben, is that the same song you was talking about, or is that the wrong one?
Yeah, that was the same song. I believe his kid. Something with his kid.
Yeah.
There's more behind there. I forget what it was, though.
I heard him say that, and I was like, okay, I literally heard this song before. I have to find it.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I was sorry. I'm here. I was looking for another video and talking to somebody.
Oh.
Anna just texted me. She the blue M&Ms came up in her Facebook feed.
Nice. That's
that
the
the
video
thing
there
about
for the
the
squid.
Rockstar?
It's so interesting. That the squid is really interesting. I mean the medusa, the jellyfish. It's really interesting.
Oh, you sent it to YouTube. Okay.
Oh, do you want me to share this?
No, you don't have to share it. Just for people who are interested, I think it's worth watching.
Can you send the link to our own chat? Sorry to interrupt.
Private chat.
Is the blue M&M thing about like the Rockstar guy that wanted to make sure like his zip line was safe?
No, it was just something I was talking about earlier. Somebody worked in the office. The employers gave them all little bags of M&Ms, and she opened up a bag of M&Ms, and it had all blue in them, which I think is like highly
weird.
like, how would that happen? And she was delighted by it, but I was saying like that would freak me out because
There is a risk there. Yeah, there is something weird
Yeah.
about it. Something happened,
Yeah.
you know.
something
There
happened.
are some M&M packages that are just one color, but
Oh, on purpose. Yeah.
on purpose. Someone had to have done something. Like
Mhm.
someone already did something to the packaging. Like you don't know what else they did.
hmm Yeah, one of my fears is getting dosed. You know, like I'll take drugs, but I don't want someone to dose me. Like if I ate some candy that had acid on it or something, I would be very angry. So that's what I thought when I saw the blue M&Ms. Like, you know, what other kind of tampering has occurred here?
Yeah, when I think about the blue M&Ms, I think about this is a bit of a channel change, but the blue mold found in the cheese of Mr. Beast's lunch cheese. Finding mold in all of his not all of his, but a lot many repeating cases that since they use real cheese, it doesn't preserve it well enough, and so they're finding a lot of moldy cheese in there. And I just thought like, that you got moldy blue M&Ms is kind of how I.
That's a good way to solve that. He's got to buy that cheese that actually molds on purpose.
Yeah.
Blue cheese.
Yeah,
Put slices of that.
Yeah, we have there's some McDonald's outbreak right now.
Oh yeah, the E. coli.
E. coli, yeah.
Oh, damn. McDonald's just one or multiple?
All over America.
All over, yeah. So they're finding more and more cases. People are getting E. coli.
What?
From eating Big Macs.
Yeah.
And they know it's the Big Macs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read the whole article, but yeah, they identified the Big Macs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like the same meat as every other burger.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I my details might be.
No, I'm sorry for being so specific. I'm like, okay, what happened there?
Yeah, I know, but this stuff is prepackaged. I mean, I don't know how it. You know, the Big Mac, it might be a certain number of grams of meat, like the patty that they put in that sandwich. So they might all be pre-portioned. So that's one way that it could have affected only Big Macs. I don't know.
Yeah, it is true. But yeah, there's the factories distribute their meats to like one factory to a whole bunch of different.
Right, McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah.
McDonald's. But I guess it's only McDonald's for some reason, and the Big Mac specifically. So unless it's just a trend to say it's Big Macs on news stuff, but
yeah,
we'll
find out in a few days, I guess.
They don't want to kill the double cheeseburger. No, that's not the one.
Yeah.
Could be the sauce. Yeah.
Does the Big Macs have special sauce? I don't remember.
No idea. The last time I ate in a McDonald's was 2001 in Bucharest because I was driving around with a friend of a friend, and I mentioned I was hungry, and she was like, "Oh, American girl." Okay, she took me to the McDonald's drive-thru.
Sorry.
Nice.
And I hadn't actually been to McDonald's for years. You know, I didn't particularly like it, so I got some French fries. And apparently, in Romania, they don't give you ketchup automatically. So I'm like, okay, I have these McDonald's French fries I don't want, and there's no ketchup. So.
Nice.
I'm not gonna say this actually. I was gonna make a joke, but it's really inappropriate. Sorry. But that's really interesting, actually. Yeah, well, there's also like a reasonable component for that, which is like, okay, maybe you're not really used to the food there, and you know, a burger is always easier to digest, and you're more used to it. At least I remember I had a friend that went to India, ESTP, went crazy, just traveled all around Asia, and he he spent a week like on his hotel room because he just ate once.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, no, in Romania, I would have definitely preferred the food because it's so good. Back then it was all. I mean, they had grocery stores, but most people would go to open air markets to buy food, and so it was like just really fresh, like just
Right.
not preserved.
That's food.
Yeah, and that the food there was amazing. Yeah, and that would be more my.
And you'd love Portuguese food. Portuguese food. Look at me selling my country. No, but it's really good actually.
I bet. Yeah.
It's really good. Like in terms of like actual like food culture, like Europe has bangers, man, and Asia too. Depends on where you go in Asia. It can get a bit weirder, but yeah, in general, we got pretty good food, and it's very diverse. You change Portugal to Spain, Spain to France, France to Germany. It's like nothing has anything to do with each other. And Europe has not a continent, right? But Europe as its own area, sort of, I think, roughly occupy the same space as the US. And I don't think the US has such variation in food styles as much as Europe has for the same area. And so I find that interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, when I think about traveling, I mostly think about food.
Oh yeah. Why anything else? But places can be pretty. But if you can't fill your stomach properly, like, come on.
Well, I also I guess I do like the views. I love Europe to be somewhere really old. We don't have super old stuff in the United States. Yeah.
Right.
So it's amazing to think about some building that was built 1,000 years ago.
Overlapping of construction and culture that span like a bunch of years. Yeah, our history classes I think might be a bit more interesting than you guys have.
I have something to share. Benjamin asked me to share this.
Nice.
Let's see what is in here.
Two. Нет. Бургер. Хорошо, стоп. Мясо. Том, открой рот. Том, открой. Мясо.
That's great.
That's
Кабан, давай есть.
He's like, no, man, I prefer to eat you.
He wants the cheese.
Мясо, давай, Том. Мясо.
He's addicted.
Вот. Том, неправильно.
He doesn't take it.
Давай. Том.
He doesn't
really
like
don't
it.
Нет.
Can't relate.
Man, I gotta know what dog species is that.
What dog species?
Non-domesticated.
That's fine.
Actually. Well,
Actually, what?
I was going to talk about Native Americans and how they domesticated wolves, but that's what I'm going to do.
How they domesticated what?
Wolves.
Wolves. So basically, like back in the 1600s, they, at least my tribe, as far as I know, we domesticated wolves, and they were actually a lot bigger than like dogs now. They're basically wolves. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. And they had them carry like the teepee poles and just carry supplies and whatnot. That's how big they were. Or sometimes they would go hunting.
So you think we can do that with humans too, and change their genes and personalities and all that by domesticating?
Let's go to domesticate someone. Who'll sign up?
This is a dictatorship now.
This is the Hunger Games. I volunteer as tribute.